Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Aquarius October 2022 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time and as subscribers, you know how much I love to see you, and you also know that we don't have any video advertisements breaking into this content, so you get to enjoy the full experience. And speaking of good experiences, I've had the great pleasure of doing some one-on-one clairvoyant readings for your Aquarian sisters and brothers over the course of the last month from different parts of the world. And if you would like to see what might be involved in having a one-on-one with me over Skype or FaceTime or however, just check out the information that's in the description box below. Now we're going to take 5 cards from this rather unusual deck, and I think probably quite a rare deck actually. I don't think you really see it around much anywhere, but let's see what it has to say for you. 9 of Discs, excellent card. 9 of Discs, Ace of Discs. Gee, it's all happening for you. What a month. 5 of Wands, no problem. The Lovers. And let's see what there is finally, shall we? See what there is indeed. Now there's some Hebrew letters in the, at least in that card there. Look, we did in our readings last month, and you can go back onto my playlist and check out your readings for the previous month. We dealt with a lot of Hebrew letters and Viking runes and Chinese I Ching, so I don't think I'm going to spend much time on them this month. There are other things calling, but it's interesting to look at what they had to say. If you missed them, go back and have a look. Finally, this one, and that is the 2 of Discs. Well, I think in the interim, what I might do is I might just make a frame of your spread from the back of these cards, because they're quite trippy, these cards, and works of art in themselves, to tell you the truth. Come down now, sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Now let's have a look at this major arcana that you drew and see what it might have to say for you. Let's have a look at the painting, shall we? I think it's always good fun to do that, don't you? See what we might be able to make of it. This is my interpretation of it, of course. You are free to look at something else. But here I see the figures in this card, in this painting here, are the Emperor as the red lion and the Empress as the white eagle, sharing a tantric kiss with their lower halves transformed in accordance with their animal nature. Now the woman is the white eagle on her lower half, while the man is red lion on his lower half. Above them, you see here, there's a robed figure in the shape of an Orphic egg overseeing the marriage. Now the figure is making a gesture in the, well, sort of making a cross, an X shape. The figure is the young hermit, himself a form of Mercury. Now, the first person said to be born from this Orphic egg was Dionysus, or Phanes. And Phanes means light bringer, and was considered a god of the unity of opposites. Now, this ordinarily is called Major Arcana number 6. Now, bees, as I look at this honeycomb here, bees are both solar and lunar and build their cells in a 6-sided polygon for the Major Arcana number 6, or a hexagon, as we say. Now we'll see hexagram when we get to this card here. So that's 6, and it's a very harmonic structure. Now, in this card, the bees, combined with the organizational structure of the honeycomb, are transformed into a chalice filled with the elixir of honey, and around the lovers, the background shows a frame of honeycomb. Now, in its center portal, or window that you can see here, yeah, it looks like things have opened up because of the heat in the honeycomb, probably the heat generated by these two lovers. Now, there is, of course, here love and attraction. You approaching things. There's a connection. There's definitely a union of opposites through love. Now, this doesn't just have to be the love which is romantic. It can also be a platonic love. It can also refer to you, I think, becoming conscious through relationship. But I'm also getting the idea of choices here. I think you need to look at all angles before making a decision. You might also be a mediator or a peacemaker in arguments between people. And there is a need to look at harmony in relationships. I've got to say, I think that there is quite likely here the need for you to make a major life choice on the direction ahead of you. Now, this may not seem to be a major choice at the time that you make it, but when you look back in 6 or 12 months' time, you'll go, oh, that was a very interesting decision that I've made there, and this is what the consequence of it has been. Now, I think that there is also here a mutual sexual attraction. And there could be a sexual connection as well, but because this is major arcana, I don't see it as being something which is casual. I don't see it as being something which is just temporary. It's something which is likely to have something to do with relationship here. Now, I think that you having drawn this card may indicate a wonderful and exciting love relationship. Now, current relationships either deepen or they end, I'm sorry to say. But sometimes things need to go, and you do have this card of change, which is sitting just down here as well. Now, I think that there are new methods for personal growth and integration of your own opposing aspects. Will they present themselves as you turn towards and interact with a partner or with a group of people? Now, really ask yourself this question. What do you seek in the people that you love? What comprises a fulfilling relationship to you? Say this. I enjoy working with people of all ages. I have inherent people skills. I am emotionally sure about what I need or don't need, what I want or don't want in a relationship, and I am now ready to meet the partner who gives me the things that I always have longed for. Well, where shall we turn to next? You got a lot of discs cards, so why don't we do this one, which is wands. Lots of things to do with material standard of living. Let's have a look at the wands card first. Well, in this card's background, obviously you can see it here. I probably don't need to point it out. You can see the Black Mountain bursting forth as a volcano. Do you know volcanoes are symbols of fire and earth with great and severe strength? Now, volcano fire lurks beneath the surface of the earth, continually building up pressure until it explodes into manifestation. Holding fire and passion too tightly eventually leads to volcanic explosion as well. There is a need to let off steam. Now, we have a portrayal of Zervain, I think, here, who was a Mesopotamian god of growth, maturity, and also of decay. And he dates back to around the 1200s BCE, 3,500 years ago. Now, Zervain was the chief Persian god, and that was before the emergence of Zoroastrianism, which is the major religion of Iran, apart from Islam, of course. Now, Zervain is usually depicted as a winged deity, naked and, naturally, encircled by a serpent, representing the motion of the sun, which is the ruler of Leo. And you see Leo is mentioned in the card. Now, Zervain is often shown holding a staff and keys, which you don't really see here, but he's often depicted as standing on a globe. Now, his open mouth is said to breathe fire. And in this card, Zervain is portrayed as a sort of a composite figure, combining the lion, the eagle, the bull with the horns here, and the human with the naked flesh there. They, of course, are representations of the fixed signs of Aquarius, being the human, fixed air, fixed fire, being Leo, fixed water, being Scorpio, and fixed earth, being the bull of Taurus. Now here, he's shown with clenched fists, denoting pressure, and he holds what's this cross called? I think it's called a Tau cross, which is associated with crucifixion. Crucifixion, the cross, look, what's interesting about, in spirituality, the cross, not this Tau cross, but the usual one that you see, which just goes a vertical line there and a horizontal line like that. The vertical line there is spirit, and the horizontal line is matter. So it refers to spirit coming into matter, and matter being infused with spirit. Now, as we can see here, we have Saturn in Leo, and I would say it's the first decan of Leo, which is the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. Now, Saturn and Leo, look, they just do not get on, because Leo wants to be creative and express itself, while Saturn has got the reputation of being cold, dense, and wants to set boundaries and limits. Now, this Wands is a fire suit, and Leo is a fire sign in the fire suit, and aided to it here by this number 5. Mystically, I have associated with the number 5 the planet of Mars, which is fiery. So you have a fire sign and a fire suit added to by the energy of the fire of Mars. And what happens is that Saturn comes along and tries to dampen down all of this. And so what we have is astrological discord to it. So there's feelings here of restriction, of some sort of unfulfilled desire. And God forbid that you should feel embittered about something, but you might feel that you're vainly trying to get something. I think the energy here signifies a general condition in which the creative power of the lion is blocked by Saturn. Because the free flow of energy is greatly restricted, it has begun to stagnate. Now, this concentrated charge of energy strives vainly to find a possibility for expression. Life might feel like something of a burden. But you shouldn't worry about that, because the other cards are here, and it says, forewarned is forearmed. More likely, I think you might be in the middle of a conflict, a tension, or some sort of, or you might be competing with somebody for something, and that might be impacting upon your ability to just get what you want now. But conflict is, there could be someone that you're competing with who is as attractive as you are, for example, although perhaps in a different way. You might be competing with someone who has the same experience as you do. You might be you might be competing with someone who has the same skills as you do. But conflict is positive because it makes you lift your game and put things up. You see, that's what happens now, is that the competition that's going on around you, if you've never been in competition before, well, now you're going to know what it means, and in particular, what it requires, and you are up to the task. I think this also encourages an understanding of differences of cultures and backgrounds and opinions. And that obviously is going to make you more rounded and wise, and obviously it's a sign of intelligence and of, an elite sort of person. But, I have to say that when you do get competition like this, the danger of resigning yourself is great. But Saturn reminds you that all things must be taken care of step by step, and don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Always look again to the flames of the suit of wands which burn on despite any roadblocks which come up there. I think that you having drawn this card is a sign that you are, in fact, ready to face this situation and do something about it. Now, what insurmountable obstacles seem to stand between you and the realization of your goals? How does the mountain of duties and tasks which stands before you look right now? Go step by step. Take everything a little easier. Do you know, there's a book in the Hebrew Bible or the Old Testament in Christian tradition called Psalms. And I'm pretty sure it's Psalm 140, verse 2, which says, "Rescue me, O Lord, from evil men. Save me from the lawless." Well, I'm not selling religion, but if you meditate on that verse 140, verse 2, it will remove the dark force's presence from your earnings and its destructive influence from your life. The light will now be your silent partner, and you'll be surrounded by protection. In any event, say this to yourself: I am more and more capable now of expressing my feelings and my creativity in work. Now let's have a look at this Ace of Discs, which is drawn and is such a fortuitous card for you. Let's have a look at some of the imagery on it and see what it gives rise to. First of all, this is about tremendous opportunity and good fortune in your life to do with your material affairs. Now here we have an Egyptian lady sitting on a lotus. Now, given that this is Egyptian, I'm assuming that this is the Nile River. Yeah, it's a river because there is a Nile crocodile in there. And do you know that the Nile River, in a sense, impregnates Egypt and gives it life? It impregnates the lotus. This imagery up here, to me, well, there's many ways that you could take that, but the way I look at it is to look at the mathematics of it. And mathematics actually is endless and infinite, as are the sign of these things here, which have no beginning and have no end. This is saying, with this beautiful color of Venus around here, speaks of love, beauty, and good business and money. See, many people don't know that Venus is about money, but it is. And this is very much the colors of Venus that I see around here, and another lotus or something on the top there as well. So I think that this is talking about the opportunities now for you. I think that the people who are likely to be important to you include Taurus. Yeah. I think that Aries is likely to be important to you, and I think Gemini is as well. This is a time when really you have got luck on your side to make things happen. And it is saying to you that there is nothing you cannot be, there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created. For who could reject such wondrous magnificence? But you do not know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you see in the world is your idea about it. Life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word. Say it out loud. Words have power, and they reverberate all throughout eternity. A word becomes an action, and if you are going to do it, go all the way. Seize the opportunities in front of you now. Rejoice in them, and let no power on earth take them from you. Yes, very good. Now, where were we? Well, let's go in the same column, because underpinning that is this. Geez, a big finish coming up here for you. It's good. Let's have a look at this. And it's sitting there right on, sitting on top of the Lovers. And it comes as a result of competition, incidentally. Well, let me do this one first. Because this is sitting below here and it's telling you something. Well, the card shows an hourglass, symbolic of the restrictive influence of the force of time. Now, with the passage of time, change is inevitable, isn't it? The hourglass is an emblem of human life and a reminder that you should make the most out of it. Yet, it is also a metaphor between the two halves, upper and lower, heaven and earth, and the need to turn things around in order to keep a continual cycle flowing. When one side of the glass is full, the other is empty, and then you reverse it, and the sand flows once again. Emptiness follows fullness, and gain follows loss, just as sadness follows joy, and joy follows sadness, and the cycle endlessly repeats. Oh, there's a couple of hexagrams here. I think we talked about hexagrams last month or the month before. Look, this one here is the first hexagram. It means they're creative, and there is a dynamic force at play here, which is very auspicious for you. And it's saying that by asserting yourself wisely and in alignment with the greater good, you achieve success. And this one here, in summary, I think that's a Wei Ji, not yet, before completion or not yet completed. It says that the ever-spinning wheels of life never reach a final conclusion. Every end has the seed of a beginning, and every situation of happiness contains a possibility of sadness and vice versa. But more importantly, achievement sprouts from adversity. Now, if I consider the astrology of the card here, it's talking about Jupiter and Capricorn. Well, I would agree with that. Jupiter ruling the first cap of Capricorn in this position, anyway. Very often the astrology is wrong on cards, but Jupiter in Capricorn, look, although that's potentially a problem, because Jupiter is all about expansion, and Capricorn is about conservatism and practicality, and, well, you can tell I'm not a Capricorn. Well, this high up on the tree with the number 2, it's only got the ace ahead of it. I don't think that problem, that astrological problem, is actually severe. Rather than that, I think this is talking that change is bringing you back into balance, and your well-being is going to get better. And that's something which is coming from here. This is also talking about that achievement as a result of adversity. Did you notice that thing there? Now, there, of course, are going to be some ups and downs, but you'll grow through change. I think you're going to be very busy. A lot of multitasking, quite a heavy workload, but you'll be enjoying your work. And there's a welcome change coming along here, and you'll be moving into a better phase, I think. Now, I think that Jupiter, the planet symbolizing luck and expansion, indicates that change is going to bring luck and enrich your life. The new will bring more stability and security. Well, that is a Capricorn aspect. Change is always necessary when the old falls out of equilibrium. Change shakes you, doesn't it? And it wakes you up. And I think that this violet colour here shows that new energies will be drawn from the transformation. The only permanent thing is impermanence. The only certain thing is uncertainty. Now, there's nothing financially or materially set in stone at the moment. This is all to come. There's things coming. There's huge groundswell coming through. Now, this is a reminder for you to make sure that your day-to-day affairs are in order, by the way. It is actually an energy of good management of your own personal finances. Now, it might still sound like a bit of a bummer, but getting on top of bills and chores is kind of as important. Well, it is as important as pursuing the more enjoyable activities. Do you know your life is subject to constant change, and that allows you to grow, extending and expanding you, and ultimately enriching you. Give yourself up to the transformation with trust. And ask yourself, what internal or external changes are going on in your life? Where are you still clinging? Say this to yourself: I trust in the harmony of my life and in the flow of my life. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And then that takes us finally and quickly to this card. Look, I think the imagery here is really quite, for me anyway, quite straightforward. It's there's an industriousness as a result of the bees. These two hands that you see at the top there, 5 fingers out and 4 there, that's for the number 9. With the number 9, I have associated with that the moon, which deals with cycles and things coming towards you. There's fertility as a result of the grains coming through, and these hexagrams of beehive sort of cells are being held together, and it's very productive. It's full. There's full of produce that's there, and that's not surprising really, because for me this is the lord of material gain. And it's Venus in the 3rd decan of Virgo. Venus is concerned with love and money. And these are both expressions of your values and your pleasures and your tastes, aren't they? Well, you'd be mad if they weren't. And Venus is saying that if your heart is pure and you follow your heart, your life can only gain from this, and good fortune is going to come about. There's reward for effort here, realizing your goals, the beginnings of material security, a real sense of self-sufficiency. Projects, situations, and relationships will produce material gain for you. You'll start moving ahead. Now, this isn't wealth, but you're going to find that you're a lot better off than you thought you were when you look back. Also here I see gain, which is bonded by love. And understand that the more you give, the more you receive. Now, I see general improvements in all areas of your life, possibly settlements and financial gifts. Look, there's karmic reward coming to you, and good luck and good management in financial affairs, and beginnings of financial security here. Now, do you know what is the highest goal in your life? And say this to yourself: everything that happens today serves my growth. The more I give, the more I receive. Well, what a fantastic card. Great fullness for you there, from your material being. Well, what an absolutely fantastic reading for you for this month of October. I hope you enjoyed the experience as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. You know, it's great. I love doing your readings for you each month. I really do, and I love it when you come by and stop by and have a look at it. It's good. It really makes me feel great. Now, one thing to remember, of course, is this: that until I see you again, remember that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.